You're listening to the Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Welcome everyone to Angry Marks Raw Reaction, the go-home show before the massive 4-hour pay-per-view this coming Sunday for WWE. I'm very much looking forward to this pay-per-view, having Brock Lesnar back. Huge deal. We'll get into that a little bit more. We'll do a quick rundown of the pay-per-view, maybe have some selections during the show as well. Really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a pretty epic pay-per-view, right? Almost 1A to SummerSlam, which was number one on the pay-per-view. 4-hour show. Looking forward to it. What are your thoughts, Killy Cap?
I am not looking forward to a 4-hour show. That's for damn sure. I mean, we got WWE Raw. It's 3 hours enough as it is. We don't need 4-hour pay-per-view plus an hour pre-show before that. But speaking of pre-shows, I'm going to plug it real quick. We're going to have a special one. We're not going to air it, but it will be up around 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. And it is not only going to have myself on it, it is also going to have Frank Vaughn and Sierra, both of them coming out of semi-retirement to do one more show for AngryMarks.com. The fans asked for it. We're going to deliver it. SummerSlam pre-show. Expected on Angry Marks Sunday evening right before the pay-per-view.
Wow, that's I may watch that with more anticipation than the pre-show match for SummerSlam. I think all the good competitors for WWE right now are lined up in matches. So I don't know what they're going to slap on the pre-show. I almost thought that Rusev Ziggler would get delegated to that role just because they were put together last minute. And probably one of the less desirable matches that they are going to have going into this pay-per-view. So it'll be interesting to see. But I'm looking forward to this. I think that they can do a 4-hour show. I mean, WrestleMania this year, that was a 4-hour show. They seem to the wrestlers come to play and they know it's going to be 4 hours of wrestling. Yes, Raw 3 hours every week. It's a little repetitive. But, I mean, you don't have superstars go. I mean, Lesnar never wrestles. Undertaker never wrestles. Half the superstars don't end up wrestling, or they end up wrestling with tag team matches. Mix it up a little bit. I like this. Very singles heavy matches, and I think it's going to be either a culmination or the progression of a couple of feuds out there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I think I might be in a minority there, but I think it'll be I think it's going to be a pretty good show, and be interested to see how things go.
Yeah.
So anyway, to go over a brief recap of Raw, we start out with the Authority, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon looking sexy fit this evening, as we've come to expect over the years. She's looking actually very voluptuous right now. They come out to the ring and they sort of hype SummerSlam. They go over to explain, hey, you know what? You can order on regular pay-per-view for $55, or you can get WWE Network and only pay $9.99. So I don't know what you're doing, Killer Cav, but I'm going to go with WWE Network. I've the constant advertising from $9.99. It's finally got me sold. So I think I'm going to go with WWE Network rather than spend my $44 or $54 like I usually would do.
You know what's actually amazing? Going over the numbers, the subscription fees from WWE Network actually eclipsed all of WWE's pay-per-view revenue of last year. So it's no wonder they're plugging it full time. WWE Network is WWE's new bread and butter.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, there's people who watch WWE Network all the time. There's people who are a couple shows a week. And there are people like me who are really just pay-per-views. I mean, I want to get into NXT. I just really haven't had the inclination to do it. But I think at some point I might have to. I might even try to watch the pay-per-view this weekend, depending on what I get into the NXT pay-per-view.
Yeah, and NXT Takeover Brooklyn is this Saturday night on the network. And I tell you what, if you're not watching NXT, you're just punishing yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's probably at least a more entertaining show than Raw on a lot of nights. A little bit shorter, a little bit more to the point, and a little bit harder worker, or a lot harder workers, I think, out there. But should be a interesting weekend in Brooklyn. I think that if this goes over well, you'll see a lot more of this, where they literally do a 3-day weekend of shows in the same city of a pay-per-view, rather than, I think, with WWE WrestleMania, they'll do one in New York City, and then one in Raw the next night in a suburb somewhere else. So it'll be interesting to see. Brooklyn's a great wrestling town. So it'll be interesting to see how hot the crowd is for all 3 days. But I think it'll be I think it really could be a success. Get some real fans out there.
Well, considering that the Brooklyn show is sold out, I can't see why it's not going to be a success, knowing the fanaticism of NXT fans. I can't see why it's not going to be a success, and I think that's going to be the model going forward into every pay-per-view. It's not just going to be Sunday night, it's going to be a whole weekend. So, if you can't get enough of, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 or 12 hours of fresh programming a week, you get a whole damn weekend right before a pay-per-view as well.
Yeah, and I mean, right around, it's not only the pay-per-view, you get the lead up, and I'm sure that they're going to start building in some of these NXT matches. I'm sure are going to have some sort of an effect on the pay-per-view. I don't know, maybe at some point in the future we'll sort of have a wrestle-in match, maybe like a Royal Rumble or something to get into the pay-per-view, doing a Raw, or have something where, hey, I don't know exactly what they could do, but really something to sort of allow somebody to do like Kevin Owens is doing. He's wrestling on the Saturday night pay-per-view, and then going to be wrestling again Cesaro on the Sunday night pay-per-view. So
yeah, he's wrestling.
It's really be a big weekend for him.
Yeah, he's wrestling Hideo Itami for the NXT title on Saturday. Then he's facing Cesaro on Sunday.
So he's wrestling Balor or Finn Balor.
Yeah, that's right, Finn Balor. I didn't mean Itami. Itami's on the shelf still. Sorry about that, my fault. But speaking of Mr. Kevin Owens, he gets to lead off our show on Raw tonight, tag teaming with Sheamus against Randy Orton and Cesaro. And this was a good match to open up with. Yeah,
it really was. The crowd was really hot. We had about 5 minutes of the Authority running their mouths, and then got right down to the action. And I was a little surprised that Sheamus got pinned cleanly by Randy Orton. I thought it might be either a dusty finish, or Orton might. Or Cesaro might get a pin on Sheamus or something along those lines, or some sort of disqualification, or even Sheamus and Kevin Owens not coexisting, getting in a fight, and one of them walking out on the other. Yeah. But none of that. It was really good, probably about close to a 15-minute match. It was really entertaining, lots of good moves, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised how much Cesaro is over, although I could do without the Cesaro section signs on being distributed, which I'm thinking is either by Cesaro or by somebody who has access to a printer at work. But I don't know. Those are a little tacky. I feel like they're trying too hard with that. I'd almost like to make up a whole shitload of Cesaro sheep signs.
Interesting.
Because these people are Cesaro's sheep.
Yeah, but you know what? It's playing off well on TV though, and I think that's the most important thing. And really, Cesaro is shining so hard right now. I mean, he is coming to his element.
Yeah, I could really see, and I could see this match. I could see this match stealing the show. Him and Kevin Owens. I mean, Kevin Owens, he's done nothing but put on great matches, and I mean, John Cena. John Cena's a worker. Love what they've done together. But, I mean, if him and Cesaro go at it, I could see this turning into another 3 pay-per-view feud similar to Cena and Kevin Owens. I could really see this developing and be really entertaining, like a 30-minute match or so.
Yeah, it's gonna be a stiff fest on Sunday. Let's just call it what it's gonna be.
Yeah. So anyway, that was an interesting match to start the show. I was surprised that there's really not much fanfare there. Just sort of bring everybody out and have a solid match there.
Yeah,
so that was a pleasant surprise.
They just
to start the show.
Yeah, they just got right down to it, and the ending was a little bit screwy too. I think at the end Cesaro was supposed to flip over the top rope, and it looked like he just got hung up there, but they kind of ad-libbed it and worked through it, and in the end they just got the job done.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't sure if that was that was something that was planned or not planned. It sort of didn't look really planned, and then they covered for it well. So
yes, they did.
I think that it was I think that it was a good match, and whatever happened needed to happen, and it was a good finish overall. So yeah, it was an interesting, good match, strong start to the show. Used to a lot of the mail-in matches, or just mail-in show, and I didn't think that this was it by any means. I think there's a lot of hype for the pay-per-view.
Well, speaking of mail-ins, I wasn't too impressed with the next match, Roman Reigns versus Luke Harper. Yeah,
I don't know. I almost feel like Luke Harper, he was outworking Roman Reigns in the match. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's Reigns. I mean, Reigns shows up for the pay-per-views, it feels like, but I mean, something like this, it just felt like he was sort of going through the motions, and he'd have his spots, but he wasn't really working, I don't think. Interesting dynamic having Dean Ambrose on the mic. Funny having a face bust on Brian Saxton, bust his chops relentlessly. I almost feel like Byron Saxton is almost like the Michael Cole of 5 years ago, where just sort of like the whipping boy.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think there's sort of he's done better the last couple of weeks. I appreciate his announcing a little bit more. Before he used to be like, okay, JBL would, or Michael Cole, really JBL would really just sort of talk him down. And I feel like over the last couple of weeks, like Vince McMahon or somebody's in his ear, being like, yo, you gotta say something, or you gotta have a comeback, you gotta balls it up here and really say something witty or get a comeback or make your opinion heard. Because he's the last probably 2-3 weeks, I think that he's really stepped it up as far as that's going. Not great. I mean, I think his role is sort of the Michael Cole 5 years ago, just sort of being the naive, independent third party. But
right,
I think he's starting to own it. So
yeah,
that's a good thing. I mean, he's no JR or no Jerry the King Lawler, but you know what he'll do, and he'll develop him, and he'll get there, I think. Or
yeah,
he'll either get there or he'll fail miserably. But they're giving him some rope.
Yeah, they sure will. Match 3, fairly short, but also kind of a good match. Not great or outstanding. Tamina versus Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch ends up putting this one away fairly quickly. Tamina tries to go for the fall away slam, but Becky Lynch catches her into the crucifix and manages to flip her over into the disarmor.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I didn't know Becky Lynch's finishing move is, or I don't know if it's a finishing move or what she refers to herself as, but she considers herself the last kicker. I thought that was a neat little, cheesy but neat little pun.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I actually I was working today, and I came across an article, or I was actually doing research for a show tonight, and I came across an article about the 15 hottest WWE divas.
Okay.
And you will never guess who number 1 is.
Maria Kanellis.
Becky Lynch.
Really? They put her as number 1.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I mean, I take Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
Every day and twice on Sundays. Actually, it's probably about 4 times on Sundays.
I mean, my favorite all time is Mickie James, but you know, you could definitely give it to Nikki Bella as well. But I wouldn't imagine Becky Lynch on top. I'm sure that would make one Mr. Angry Tensai real happy.
Yeah, well, no, it's only current superstars.
Oh.
So Mickie James she's plus child now. So I mean, she's still wrestling, right? She came back to TNA recently, no?
Yeah. So I mean,
okay,
Lana doesn't get number 1 then?
What's that?
Lana doesn't get number 1?
No, she was 2. Nikki Bella was 3.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I was a little surprised with it. how it turned out. It was interesting. I mean, it's one guy's opinion, but it was interesting to see what his opinions were. So yeah, that was
well, speaking of Lana.
Go ahead.
Speaking of Lana, she was sitting at ringside for our next match, Mark Henry versus Rusev.
Yeah, this match really didn't impress me at all. I mean, I feel bad for Mark Henry. I mean, he used to be a legit WWE heavyweight contender.
You know, he used to be so many things. He used to be legit heavyweight contender. He used to be sexual chocolate. I mean, there are so many things, and now pretty much his title is just jobber. Yeah,
it really is. I mean, he's still one of the highest paid wrestlers in WWE, so I think that they're just sort of running out whatever contract they have left with him and just like, hey, man, it's like, just don't go to buffet first and go job and put Rusev over.
Yeah, there you go. Really, this wasn't about this. This really didn't have anything to do with Mark Henry. This is all about Rusev and Lana and Summer Rae. After the match, they kind of ran their mouths for a little bit, and then they left the ring, and then Lana gets into the ring and challenges Summer Rae and just slaps the shit out of her again. How many more times?
Yeah, that was interesting. The funny thing was, I don't know, there's something messed up with timing, I guess. But after she smacked the shit out of Lana, or out of Summer Rae, she invites Rusev in the ring. Rusev comes to the ring, backs her down, and you see her just looking over his shoulder for about a good 5 seconds, just waiting for something. And then finally, after about 5 really awkward seconds, not knowing what to do, Ziggler comes out and makes the save and gives Rusev a super kick and basically chased him out of the ring and was looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of awkward. It felt like forever. And the only thing I could just focus on was Lana there. She was smiling, and then she kind of didn't smile as big, and then smiled big again. You know, it's like whatever plan that she had, it was just pretty much damn blown. So I have no idea what happened there. But when Ziggler finally come down, she got the biggest cat-eating grin on her face. I think she is relieved, like, oh, thank God this is ending.
Yeah, exactly. I was hung out there for about 5 minutes. I don't know what the hell was going on.
Honest to God, I thought what was going to end up happening was that they were going to have the long stare down, and all of a sudden they were going to come together and kiss. I think
that happens. I think that happens at the pay-per-view.
You think that'll happen at the pay-per-view? It just may. You're right. It just may. Because really, I don't think Rusev and Summer Rae are working together at all. It's really the magic is there with Rusev and Lana.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and that would work so good if that swerve happened at the pay-per-view, because it would put even more fire under Dolph Ziggler's ass, because now he's not only the underdog, he's now the scorned lover.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Although I think Ziggler's just sort of running through this chick. I mean, she's just a number to him.
Yeah. Speaking of numbers, Intercontinental Champion Ryback versus The Miz in a non-title match with Big Show at commentary. Thank fucking God we're finally going to get to this goddamn match at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, can we please blow it off? And I couldn't believe how quickly, I mean, I guess they want to make, I feel bad for Miz because I feel like they're going to put the title on him. But,
so?
I mean, they're jobbing him out to Ryback in 2 minutes.
I don't know.
I mean, hey, I know I got the idea of making him look like a monster. I mean, Miz didn't look like he belongs in the ring with him.
I don't know. After comments that I heard this week that Big Show says that he thinks it's about time to wrap up his career, I think they're going to put the title on him one more time.
Really?
I think so.
Hey, you know what? That'd be nice. I mean, we give him shit, and hey, you know what? He's not the best performer. He's good on the mic, but I mean, give him a run with the IC title. Don't put a world title on him. Give him a run with the IC title for a couple months, and have him pass the torch or do something to go out with a little bit of flair. Maybe do a retirement match or next pay-per-view. Or not the next pay-per-view, at WrestleMania or something.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work for me.
But, anyway, so that was a short match, and we had some, little bit, extracurricular,
yeah, we got
activities after the match.
Yeah, we got a little bit. we really got into this long, very long contract signing segment between John Cena and Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what I really didn't like. The intro for this match. Or for the contract signing.
Yeah.
It was Triple H and Stephanie out there. And Stephanie said something about, and this is the contract signing for one of the top matches at SummerSlam. I mean, come on. Really, one of the top matches? I get that
Lesnar Undertaker?
Undertaker will probably be the main event. But still, like, you know what? Say this history-making event. Not one of the matches on the pay-per-view. Come on. That was really hokey.
Well, you got to remember they already used the history-making once-in-a-lifetime line to describe all of SummerSlam at the beginning of the show, and I'm like, really? It's not once in a lifetime. You do this damn show every year.
Well, maybe she can call it. Hey, you know what? First time ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but Seth Rollins got to run his mouth forever and ever and ever. And John Cena finally gets out there, and he kind of keeps it fairly short but fairly sweet. And I thought he made a great point here. Really, Seth Rollins is all about extending Triple H's legacy, but at the end of the day, Triple H can't extend his legacy anymore. His championship reigns are done. Meanwhile, John Cena's still going. He is going to tie Ric Flair's all-time, 16-time champion. He's going to tie Ric Flair for that record. And really, I liked how he ended this segment. He mentioned that the one difference between Seth Rollins and Triple H was that Triple H was never Ric Flair's bitch, which left you with the impression that Cena's next words were Seth Rollins was Triple H's bitch. But instead,
I think that was sort of implied there.
Yeah,
that Sunday I'm going to make you my bitch.
Right, he turns and he says, Sunday, I'm going to make you mine. I mean that you don't usually hear that tough of talk from John Cena, but he laid the fucking smack down, and you could just tell that Rollins was burning inside.
Yeah, and you know what? The last month or so, I've seen Rollins has really improved his mic work. He's doing some of the longer form promos. I mean, he's getting really good on the mic. Out of the, I don't know. I don't want to say, out of the Shield, I think he's the best on the mic. Yep. Ambrose is good to the point, and
he is.
Reigns has some work to do. But Rollins just looks so much more comfortable on the mic, even in like a month or two ago. Because he used to have to come out with, it used to be, okay, now Kane's talking, now January Security's talking, now Steph's talking, now Triple H is talking, now Big Show's talking. Like, now he can go out and hold the floor himself. And I really think that's impressive and really going to do him well moving forward.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to this match. I'll admit it. It's going to be a good match.
It'll be interesting to see how it ends, because I feel like they're both going to go home with the same titles. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, how they get there.
Now, I tell you what, another great promo that ended up happening several minutes later, Stardust and Wade Barrett doing the promo for their match against Adrian Neville and Stephen Amell, better known as the Green Arrow from the very popular CW series Arrow, playing the iconic cartoon superhero. I tell you what, though, you could just look and just tell that Cody Rhodes is having so much fun with the Stardust character right now. I mean, he's literally playing a real life supervillain here. I mean, he is just eating it up, and I'm loving it. I've liked everything that they've done with this feud so far, and this may be the match I'm looking forward to the most at the pay-per-view.
Really?
Yeah. I really want to see what Stephen Amell can do as a pro wrestler.
That's interesting. I mean, I have a feeling that they're going to win the match.
Probably.
Mostly because they brought, it's not a major, it's not like he's wrestling it's in the main event.
It's a throwaway match. You know what? Matter of fact, I can see this match being the semi-main event. This will be the cool down match before the main event.
I could see that happening. Yeah, no, you know what? You might be right. Just because the Divas match, I feel like the Divas match is that's actually going to be like much more look forward to now than usual. So
Yeah.
I could see that being the case. Although I think that they'd probably want to put it on a little earlier, just because number one, just to get it out of the way, and number two, just because I mean it's if people are watching the pay-per-view for this guy, they don't want to see him in the first hour or two.
Yeah, pretty much. So, we only got a few more minutes left on pay-per-view, on podcast here. Very quickly, you had Lucha Dragons and Primetime Players versus, the New Day and Los Matadores, and things just kind of really broke down between Los Matadores and New Day. You had El Torito, hitting moves on Kofi Kingston on the apron to end this match.
Okay. Well, anyway, you know what? We've already spent more time talking about this. Number one, this match deserves or longer than this match took. It took about 2 minutes. It was a complete freaking train wreck, and I don't really care. I mean, you know what? I'm not ordering the pay-per-view. I don't think anybody's ordering a pay-per-view other than the Primetime Players' families to watch this match. And nobody cares. And
all of Mexico because they're watching Lucha Dragons.
That's right, all of Mexico. Okay. Anyway, that was a good recap of that match, short and sweet, and sort of a train wreck.
Yeah. Nikki Bella.
So next up, we have a non-titled women's match between the WWE champion, Nikki Bella, and NXT women's champion, Sasha Banks. And this match was a interesting matchup, being that you figured it would have hyped a women's match of this magnitude a little bit more. I get it's women, but I can almost see this being a pay-per-view match. And this match really was set up to, I think, advance the SummerSlam match where you have the three factions, BAD, the Bellas, and PCB? PHG?
I have no idea what they're calling themselves now.
It changes every week, I think. But I think they should just name that stable with flair.
There you go.
Because they're going to do everything, because she's always like, we're going to do it with flair. They should just call the stable with flair, because they're with her.
Yep, there you go.
Anyway, in this match, it was a decent match. It was a 10-minute match. Sasha ended up getting the win on a submission, and I don't think this means anything for the pay-per-view. I think that this, down the road, I think that it puts her in a position where I think she can arguably be the next challenger for the women's title.
Yep.
So decent match, about 10 minutes. The women's division is a lot more entertaining now with these new teams, and I think people are pretty hot over it. So that's a good thing, and hopefully they get a good, good little match in.
Yeah.
The women's shot. I mean, it's one match. It's not like it's like 2 or 3 stupid separate matches. So it's one match. I mean, give them a little bit of time. And you know what? We have a 4-hour pay-per-view, so we need some filler. Yep. So anyway, the final part, Kev, we had Brock Lesnar's triumphant homecoming to Minnesota.
Yes, indeed. And possibly one of the best promos of the year. I mean, everybody was just eating out of Paul Heyman's hand with this promo.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good promo. And I mean, Paul Heyman, he's a master of doing promos anyway, but I mean, this is just, it shows it was a great situation, and it was a great promo in this great situation.
Yeah, but once again, the lights go out, Undertaker shows up, kicks Brock Lesnar in the balls, and buries him with the Tombstone Piledriver.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see at the pay-per-view. Is Taker going to be received as a legend, or is he going to be received as a heel? I'm thinking legend. Just because he's never... I mean, it'd be like bringing Shawn Michaels back, or Ric Flair back.
Yeah.
I mean, you could cut somebody, but it's freaking Undertaker. And you know what? He's doing heel moves that it makes it a little bit more interesting. I mean, he could go complete heel and just, I don't know, start a stable or do something that'll lead up to WrestleMania next year. Or, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't even want to pick this match for the pay-per-view because I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out.
Yeah, this one's definitely going to be up in the air. And this segment was really kind of interesting It has been many, many years since I have heard The Undertaker booed, but when he low-blowed Brock Lesnar, the boo birds came out. And I really just kind of think because this was Minneapolis, Lesnar's hometown, everybody wanted to be, on the side of the homeboy, Brock Lesnar. So,
Yeah, I think that's 100% it. But, I think that's the reason for the booing. But you know what? Like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens when we're in Brooklyn next week.
Yep.
Or this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out. I think that I'm really looking forward to this match. I'm looking forward to a lot of matches in this pay-per-view. My Sunday night and possibly my Saturday night will be booked watching WWE and hopefully some very entertaining WWE. So, Killer Kev, I know we want to get this wrapped up pretty quickly. Sort of an abbreviated version here. Appreciate you stepping in. Before we do that, I do want to pass on a big hearty congratulations to my main man, Angry Tensai. He is a proud father for the second time around of a little boy. So, mad kudos to Angry Tensai. Congratulations on siring another son.
Yeah,
and well done.
Yeah, with the same woman. Who'd have thought somebody'd give him a second chance?
Yeah, that's I don't know if we could have taken odds on that one. That would have been an interesting bet. But anyway, I just want to pass that on. Delve into personal life every once in a while. So give a big fat congratulations to Angry Tensai and job well done.
Yeah, so, he's having a banner year. American Pharaoh wins, and now he's got another kid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was the highlight of your year, Angry Tensai? You mean aside from American Pharaoh, I had another son.
I heard he's gonna give the kid middle name Pharaoh.
You know what? I was joking around with him, like, you gotta tell your wife because you had to miss the Haskell. You want to name the kid the middle name Pharaoh. It would and spell it wrong too. That would definitely be a cool little thing.
There you go. So,
yeah, I don't think he did it though. I don't think he would have done it.
It's okay. We'll make it his nickname.
Okay, little Pharaoh. The other his oldest son, who's about 2.5, is known as the baby that gravity forgot.
There you go. So, all right.
Stuff. Pay-per-view. Let's run through this really quick.
We ain't got time, brother. We gotta go. We've already done predictions. We gotta go.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. My only prediction, it's gonna be a great pay-per-view.
Absolutely. If you really want to do predictions, we'll do them Sunday afternoon. Are you down for that?
Well, I might just email them to you. I don't want to get on the show. I'll email my picks if I remember.
All right,
but,
there you go.
I'm just looking forward to pay-per-view. My prediction is going to be a good pay-per-view all around, and we'll be racing that on Monday. And a really hot crowd.
There we go. All right, so we're going to wrap it up, and I am getting ready to do Undisputed Wrestling Show. We are going to be on tonight with Will Huckabee, Zane Paisley, and we're going to have the returning Razor Ramones to talk about the state of wrestling and everything that they've been up to lately. They've been hanging around a bunch of legends, making us some new music, and that's all I got to plug. So,
wow, Razor Ramon, you guys are really stepping up. Is he still in Atlanta?
No, not Razor Ramon the wrestler, the Razor Ramones, the music group.
Oh, okay.
You should check them out. They do some real fun songs.
Razor, so not the Ramones, but Razor Ramon.
Right. They're a punk band in the style of Ramones, and they love pro wrestling, so they named themselves the Razor Ramones.
Interesting. That's I'm sure it's gonna be a good show. I can't wait to listen.
There you go. Well, we're getting ready to do it live in just a couple of minutes, just as soon as we get off of here. So, let's wrap it up. Thank you for listening to Raw Reaction, everybody. Good night from Killer Kev. Big Vic, final words?
You know what? Nothing is final until the Razor and the Ramones have completed their odyssey.
There you go. All right, Killer Kev, hit our music. Oh, wait, that's me, isn't it?